All right, my peeps, the question is, how do I stay full? How do I keep my muscles big and round when I don't use carbohydrate? So here's what you got to understand. Most people are afraid of getting fat because most people, including myself, have been a fat motherfucker and it sucks. So with the system of eating that I teach, using little to no carbohydrates, it's very difficult to get fat. So on that level, you're eating a lot more. And when you think of food in general, good food, using carbohydrate or not, if it's on a reasonable basis, no carb or very low carb, the bottom line is your food is fuel. So if you're eating enough, your muscles are going to stay full. So think of your muscles almost like a holding tank, a reservoir. If you don't eat enough, doesn't make a difference what type of macronutrient you're using, that reservoir is not going to be full. Now, if you're eating, say, more than too little, but using a carbohydrate, those muscles will tend to look a little bit more full because the carbohydrate breaks down and gets into the reservoir quickly. Now let's say you're eating the adequate amount or even a little bit of a surplus, but you're not using the carbohydrate. Your reservoirs, your muscles are going to be full because you're eating enough. Now that's where the problem comes in when people are eating enough or in a slight surplus and they're using carbohydrates. That's where they tend to get fat because the reservoir has to be kept full just at the right pace or just amount. I've made a video before about how if you turn that garden hose on too much, it spills over the top of the coffee cup. Well, that is the reservoir spilling over, which then creates body fat. So to answer your question, how do I stay full with no carbohydrate? Is I'm eating constantly. I eat lots of small meals. I'm not afraid to eat. I enjoy eating, makes me feel good. My energy levels are good, keeps me lean, and builds my fucking muscles. So to answer the question in a simple fucking 1, 2, 3, the reason that you're not staying full if you're not using carbohydrate is because you're not eating enough. And then the second layer to that is that you may not be eating the right things. There's no question it's a pretty, detailed formula. It's hard to understand, but once you get it, once someone teaches it to you, it makes fucking perfect sense and it's fucking lights out. You don't get fat, you're full of energy, you build fucking muscle, and you stay lean all the time. Lean and full. Rock and roll, my peeps. Have a fucking killer day. That look full to you? Haven't had a carbohydrate in God knows how long since my last bodybuilding show. Rock and roll, my peeps.